What's up, guys? I hope everything is going well and that you are fit and healthy as always. Today is something new. This is our new podcast called the RK400 Radio, and we're gonna talk about topics that are related on my channel, which is fitness, nutrition, and mental health. And I've got Sophie Carr, which is my girlfriend. She's joining me, and basically we're gonna do this together because I wanted to get her involved in my videos. I make a lot of videos on YouTube talking about topics and depression and lifting weights and things like that, but it's just me talking to you, where I feel like it might just be better if I have like a different opinion.
Add a new dynamic,
just different opinions. So in today's video, we are going to talk, or today's podcast, this is a new thing that I need to get used to saying. In today's podcast, which is podcast number 1, we are going to talk about females lifting weights.
Yep.
So that's going to be the topic today, and obviously it's perfect because Sophie is with us and she's going to talk about that. So what do you think about the topic itself, like females lifting weights? Do you think they should lift weights? Do you think they shouldn't lift weights?
Well, obviously I think they should, as someone who does lift weights. Mm-hmm. I think it's definitely something that's has gained popularity in the last couple of years at least. A lot of celebrities are pushing it more, and it's kind of being recognised as like almost a better alternative to cardio if you want to like lose weight and like sculpt your body.
Yeah, because if you build lean muscle, you obviously have that like the muscle mass. The more muscle mass you have, the more calories you need to maintain that. And so if you're eating normally and you're building muscle, you have a tendency to lose weight quicker, I guess. And it's easier to maintain when you have muscle. Or that's at least what we men think and what we do.
Yeah.
So it's the same way with
it applies to women just as much, definitely. I also think there's something quite empowering about it. A lot of exercise is focused on losing weight or getting slimmer, whereas I think when you shift that to weightlifting, you kind of focus more on your strength. Like you become competitive yourself, like, oh, I lifted this many kgs last week, I want to push and like lift a bit more this week, and it kind of shifts the focus away from your appearance and more to what you're capable of.
Yeah, I mean, because I've heard this quote with they just said that the gym is probably the best place and the fairest place in the world, because you can go in and what you put in there, you will get out. So if you put in 50%, you're only going to get 50 out. There's no way that you can put in 50 and get 100 out. Or if you get put 100 in, there's no way that the gym will give you 50 back. It's always going to be you against you. So once you're in there, regardless male or female, you push yourself and you push your own limits. So I guess we all need that, just generally.
Yeah. I think the gym as well is quite an accepting environment. Like, you never go into the gym and judge people on their appearance. You're more like, they're showing up every day. And once you start doing that, you realise the dedication that it requires and the commitment to turn up, that you have this kind of mutual respect for everybody else in there.
That is true. Alrighty, so obviously the second thing that we really want to talk about is women that clearly think the perception that they have of looking bulky and fat, maybe if they start lifting weights.
Yeah.
Like, is that something when you started lifting, is that something that you thought as well? You saw men lifting, and men that didn't lift were skinny, and men that did was not skinny, and then you thought, obviously, if I want to be lean and not bulky, I'm gonna stay away from the weight section.
I think also like the weight section is just quite intimidating at first. Like when I first started going to the gym, I didn't go into the weight section. I didn't lift weights. Something actually came up on like my Snapchat memories like yesterday, where it was like a picture of me in a gym, and it was a gym I used to go to my first year at uni, and then I suddenly realised there was a squat rack in that gym, and I never touched the squat rack when I went to that gym. I didn't even know there was one in there, and I looked at it and I was surprised. I think it's definitely like something that girls don't consider doing, is it's kind of like left to the men. Men are trying to build muscle, girls want to look more feminine and slim down, as it were, but you're not going to build that kind of muscle overnight. Like I think it's a very common misconception that it's easy to get that strong and that big so quickly, but like that takes, I mean, you're bulking at the moment, you know how much dedication it takes to build that kind of muscle.
Yeah,
it doesn't just happen.
The amount of food that you need to take in is incredible. And when you now that you mentioned that we were speaking about this earlier, about a woman I like to follow, or I follow Mike Thurston on YouTube. I just love the way that he, talks about the muscle groups, and he's really not all about being the strongest and the fastest. It's just all about concentrating on the muscles and really putting emphasis on doing it right and slow, and putting what is that word, like concentrated movements. So he had a guest on his show, on his YouTube, called Vladislava Galagan.
Don't ask me to pronounce it.
That girl, I wouldn't even say woman because she's still young, I guess. But woman. She was jacked like no one I've ever seen. No woman, at least. Now, we've obviously had a little chat with her, and then she said that she just said that she wanted to start, lifting weights and getting into the competitive vibes. And it took her 3 years to get that way, So it wasn't just lifting weights for a month or two. Like, she was lifting a lot of weight. She was putting in,
you have
eating
to really
the calories.
push as well. Like, you can't just go and lift the same weight day after day. You need to increase that and increase the calories you're putting into your body. And
yeah, the one thing that I have clients that want to build lean muscle, and the one thing that I've noticed is they actually struggle to eat the amount of food that I give them. You know how much I eat.
Yeah, I know.
And how time consuming it is to make the food. Like, we make the food we just got an air fryer now, which makes it a little easier, but it still takes time to air fry a kilogram of chicken so that you have enough for the week, so you can limit the time spending making food, because it's just a lot of food and you have to eat. So let's say you eat 20 minutes, because it takes long to eat because you're not really hungry. So you take that 20 minutes of eating times 6 meals, that's an hour, that's 2 hours basically of just sitting down on a couch and eating. You need 2 hours then to sit down and eat. Hey, a little cat called Ozzy.
He's a menace.
Yeah, he's a menace, but we'll just have to deal with him. So yeah, if you just think about that concept alone.
Yeah.
You need 2 hours to sit down and eat. And not a lot of people have the time to do it. Not a lot of people can even think about doing something like that.
Yeah, or even have the drive or desire to think about that.
So the point where it comes from, or what do we want to talk about, like females lifting weights, you can lift weights and not be this big, jacked, figure.
Definitely.
All about lifting weights for me is, and what I always tell my female clients as well, is that you are just toning your body. You're giving maybe the muscles that you do have, you're giving them some shape, some substance, some how can I say, just like a different form. You're not really necessarily building them and growing them into this massive muscle, but just shaping them into your best
There's
form.
also been a lot of on social media, people worry that it will give them a more masculine figure, but actually if you look at a lot of fitness influencers on Instagram, they'll talk about how it can give you a more feminine body if you're building your upper body and almost getting slightly broader shoulders, and you're also training your legs and your glutes and maybe getting slightly bigger bum. It will give you that more traditional hourglass figure that a lot of girls want.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's not going to make you built like a man, straight up and down. You're always going to have a female body, and it's going to add to those
features. I was
features.
thinking the same, because I have a client as well that, she trained and then she basically stopped doing any weights on her upper body. She just stopped doing weights because she felt like she doesn't want to get bigger up there, but she still wants that firm glute, that butt, that ass that everyone is talking about on Instagram, the pictures that they see, and they're obviously comparing themselves to these women, but they don't know these women. They don't know what they are going through, what they are eating, and you can look at the what I eat in a day vibes. I don't know how accurate that is.
Yeah, I don't know.
Because obviously they put in what they eat in a day now, but they didn't make a video saying what I used to eat, 5 years ago when I was skinny. So I think that is also something. You mentioned going to the gym and feeling like the gym is male dominant. Do you think that's changed a little bit?
I think it very much depends on what gym you go to. Obviously you get like bodybuilding gyms, they're going to be all men, but like your standard gym, I'd say a lot of girls still stick to the cardio section, just because you go to the weight section and there's likely to be one girl for every 5 guys, I'd say is a pretty fair ratio. Yeah. And if it's something that you're completely new to, it can be quite intimidating, and you almost don't feel like you can take up space in that area. Like, I think it is a lot of actually inside your own head. Like, most of the people in the gym are very friendly and accepting, but going into that for the first time, you can feel a bit out of place. You feel like men think that you don't really have the right to occupy space in that area because it's where they go to lift weights. But actually, once you get past that, everyone's quite friendly and accepting.
And also from a female perspective, I mean, I'm just trying to does it bother you that, you know, when you wear these tight little gym clothes, that men are, because you've mentioned before that you'll be training and then someone would just stop you mid session or mid workout, ask for either for a number or if they can, you know, chat with you.
Yeah, I mean, I just
find it help you in your.
I find it quite frustrating, just because I think maybe it's a thing that they don't necessarily think the girls take the gym as seriously. But if I'm in the gym, I'm in my own place. I normally have my headphones in. I'm focused on what I'm doing. It's my time to like zone out. I don't really want people talking to me. It's where I go to escape. And I feel like guys wouldn't interrupt another guy mid-set, but they think that they can with girls, which is definitely quite frustrating.
Yeah. And for all the guys out there, obviously, if you're listening to this, what is your advice on picking up girls at the gym? Just in a sense, just like basically what not to do, like mid-set, like don't bother them asking them straight up for something. Maybe just take it slow when you see that person. I mean, this is just my opinion, of course, as to if I had to, because I met you in the gym.
Yeah.
You know, and I took it real subtle. Of course, I wanted to go up to her and ask her for her number and those type of things. But it took a while, and then we eventually bumped into each other with a mutual friend. And I just said hi. You don't make too much of a thing, and then, you know, in a way, find an Instagram handle and you know, just start messaging that way, rather than being like, hey, listen, I saw you lifting weights. Awesome. Yeah. I really think you're beautiful.
It's too strong. It's too strong.
So what do you think as well?
I mean,
just stay away?
I wouldn't say just stay away. Like, have a conversation with people at the gym, it's fine. But I just think there is like the standard gym etiquette. Like, if someone's in the middle of a set, you don't interrupt them. Even things like, if I'm doing squats on the squat rack, it will irritate me if some people come and start taking weights off the squat rack without like waiting until I finish my set, just because like you're in the zone and mid-training and they're like walking around you. It's just distracting.
So while you do the...
Yeah, while you're doing it. And it's like, I know they're not talking to you, but like you're in the mindset, you're lifting quite a lot of weight.
It's even like the same way when someone does, you know, shoulder presses or anything in front of the mirror.
Yeah.
Like, I just don't walk in front of them.
You don't walk and start taking weights.
I mean, you can, and there's no rule that you shouldn't, but it's just out of respect, because he's obviously watching his form and he's, you know, he's in the zone doing the set. As soon as you come in front of his vision, he maybe loses his balance or something. I mean, it's minor, but
it's just like, it takes you out of the zone. Yeah. So just wait till I finish the set, but also don't stare intensely, waiting for me to finish my set and then commit, because then I'll be there like, this person's about to come up and talk to me and I don't really want them to. It's too much.
Plus you have a boyfriend, so...
Yeah.
Supplements. Do you think women should use supplements? You know, because supplements for me, and I've had a lot of clients ask me about supplements, like when can they use it, especially when they ask me about using supplements when they want to lose weight, and I keep saying that a supplement is there in case you can't get enough of something, and then you want to supplement, you want to add it onto your diet. Like, for instance, if you need protein, let's say you need 200 grams of protein a day, but because you're busy and the food that you eat, you can only add up about 150 in a day, then you use the supplements because it's quick and easy. It's just one sip and you have an extra 50 grams of protein. Which I feel is the same for women, but there's specific ways to tackle it in a way, because like I use one that gives me 46 grams, you use a protein that gives you 21, because you feel like you don't need that much.
Yeah.
So you need to just
bear in mind that you are you're smaller. So you
Basically,
don't
what
need
I'm
as
saying
much.
with lifting weights, if you eat a lot, and this is also the reality, of course. We're not defending this whole thing that you can't get bulky, but if you are a woman and you're lifting heavy weights and you're pushing yourself in the gym, you use supplements, protein, creatine, like a testo enhancer or something,
Yeah.
and you're eating like a considerable amount of calories,
Then you are going to build
you
muscle.
will build muscle. You
And which
will
is-
look like
Yeah,
this girl.
eventually. But that's great if that's what you want to do.
No, of course, that's what I'm saying. So you can, if that is what you
Yeah.
want, you can lift weights, you can go there, you can push and become this beast. But if you don't do that, like, don't be afraid to.
Yeah, supplements aren't going to magically, like you say, it's like it adds up over time. So if you work out your protein intake for a day and it includes your protein from a protein shake, then you'll know how much protein you've got going into your body and whether like that's okay for your diet or not.
I think that's a really good thing as well, to just track. You don't have to count calories, all right? I do, because I just feel it's much easier for me, but you don't necessarily have to count. But it's nice to have a broad spectrum of what you are eating in a day. Like you said, if you know that, okay, today I'm having this, which is very high in protein, maybe you don't need a shake that day.
Yeah, no,
You know,
definitely.
if otherwise, like I said, you'll have so much protein that if you push hard in the gym, that could cause.
I think like
that's okay.
on the topic of like counting calories and stuff as well, I think for girls going to the gym, what's really nice is that it takes the shift away from trying to eat little, make yourself smaller. Instead, you'll think about the calories that are going to help you achieve what you want in the gym, which I think is really important for a lot of girls. Like we see a lot of images on social media that encourage you to like look smaller, and actually now when I think about what I'm eating, I'll think like I want some food in my body before I go to the gym. Otherwise, I know I'm not going to be able to lift what I did last week, and that's frustrating for me because I don't feel like I'm making progress.
Of course. Yeah, that is very interesting, and I think as well, girls go to the gym not necessarily to bulk up, but just have a good experience, have some fun, get out of the house, experience new things, which then brings us to basically the last question is, why do you think girls would want to go to the gym, like, at all? Like, what would be the reasons if bulking and getting like massive shoulders and chest is not the main purpose? Because that's why guys go, we want to get jacked there. So
I mean, some girls might as well.
no, of course some girls would, but just a general opinion. I mean,
I just find it quite empowering, and it's one of the things that actually keeps me quite sane. Like, it gives me a routine every day. If I know that I go to the gym Monday to Friday, and I have a structure of what I want to achieve, and even if I've had the worst day, I've achieved nothing that day, I've gone to the gym and I've turned up for myself on that day and achieved something. And over a period of time when it may feel like you're not making a lot of progress in other aspects of your life, you can look back and be like, oh, I increased my squats by 5 kgs in the last month though. So that's something. I've made some kind of progress for myself, and I can visually see that progress in my body.
yeah.
I also feel stronger and better in myself, and actually, like, it's a confidence thing, feeling good in your own skin. Even if your outside appearance doesn't change dramatically, inside it makes you feel so much better. Like, you feel stronger and more capable and fitter, and like, my body can do some pretty awesome things. Like, I can squat more than I weigh now. I never used to be able to do that.
There's this quote from Marcus Aurelius where he says, I don't know the exact quote, but basically what he says is that it is a disgrace, or it's just not it's unacceptable for a man to go through life not experiencing what his body is capable of, like the max of what he as a man can do. And I think it kind of applies to females as well. I mean, not necessarily getting bulky and stuff, but showing up for yourself, being in a very healthy state, pushing hard, showing that you can lift heavy. I mean, you don't have to, even with men, I don't have to lift or bench 200 and look good and big. Like, I see guys that lift way more than me, but they don't have the shape necessarily. So it's not about the weight, it's how you do it And
although it is pretty nice if you go to the gym and you're lifting
more
than
than the guy, of course, which you do. I do know you do that. Yeah, so that's pretty cool. So the final thoughts. You think girls lifting weight is good?
Yeah,
Cool.
definitely. And I think if you're a girl and you're intimidated by it, almost everything I learned.
If you're listening and you want to go to the gym but you haven't gone to the gym, Sophie
almost,
says
almost everything I learned about lifting weights and going to the gym, I learned off Instagram. Follow some like fitness influencers, girls. There's so many of them. They nearly all post like their workout routine. So if you don't know how to do an exercise or you don't know where to go in the gym, they'll show you how to do it.
You can start from home, body weight stuff,
Yeah.
and then go to the gym, lift like 2 kilograms, 3 kilograms, and eventually work out yourself up. And also what I've done, because I've been in the gym since the age of 14, and YouTube wasn't really a thing back then, you know. That's how old I am. So I used to steal with my eyes, you know. So you
I do a bit of that too. Just subtly watch people.
Men, females, whatever. You just watch them do the thing. Of course, you have your own opinion. You can say if they're doing it right or wrong. But now we've got a lot of content all on social media, internet, Google, YouTube, where you can actually see what the right way to perform is. So you have no excuse.
Yeah.
Sometimes I even give a plan to a client and then they contact me and they're like, Risha, I don't know how to do this.
Yeah.
And of course I explain to them or I send them a video on how to do it, but it's really, really easy to just type that in on your phone and it'll show you step-by-step video of to do any workout you want. So it's really simple to you can't go to the gym and say, I don't know.
Also, the gym community, they are all really friendly.
Helpful,
I've had girls come up to me and show me on their phone, like, I've got this app, it's telling me to do this exercise, how do you do it? And then I'll go and like help them find equipment. It's like 2 minutes out of my time. And as someone who goes to gym, I'd rather, if the people didn't know, they'd ask me, than me have to watch them and be scared that they're about to break their back or something.
That is true.
So...
Alrighty, I think that was good. I think girls should go to the gym. It'll just help. It's like a little dating app as well, you know?
Oh, yeah.
No, I'm kidding, but if more girls went to the gym, you know, there's a chance that you can meet natural people. I always say, well, my father used to say, like, you should go to the gym, you should go to the church, you should go to, like, events. That's where you meet the love of your life, for instance, right? Because it's people with the like-minded thoughts, in a way. Like, if you go to a bar and you meet a girl that's, like, pissed and drinking and you're that person as well, you're also there drinking, then that's the type of person you'll attract, and you'll probably keep on doing that with that partner for a long time. Not always, of course, I'm just using examples. Whereas if you go to the gym, you meet someone that's at the gym, already you have one thing in common. And I think that's a pretty cool thing.
It's a good start.
Yeah, so thank you so much for listening to our podcast on RK400 Radio. It's new and I hope you like it, of course. So if you do, like and subscribe. Sophie and I will be talking about all sorts of topics. If there is something that you want to talk about or want us to talk about and share our opinions on, you can just leave a comment down below on what you want to hear. Of course, follow Sophie on Instagram. She has a little art Instagram as well, where she paints beautifully, so you can support her there as well. And yeah, we'll see you on the next one. Cheers.